Ethereum social media euphoria hits extreme levels. You and I have not seen anything yet. That might be the headline, but there is so much more in store. I'm going to break down the exact data on why that is. SUI right now in the weekly breaking out, more evident on the daily chart. This is kind of a leading indicator of sorts for altcoins that we've been tracking on this YouTube channel. So what SUI does next, I think very important, currently at a very key resistance area, ADA. Trying to set up its own breakout. The next target right around $1. I'm going to break down that move as well in this video. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. If you're not in our risk models or our exit planners in our intelligence system, please check it out. We have a 40% sale going on right now. This is for the macro investor. And I want to start by breaking down some data in relation to Ethereum. This is incredibly important, what I'm about to show you as we start talking about altcoins. I want to point something to your attention. Our risk score for Ethereum is currently at a 52. I will say a 52 is still kind of this pre-bull move, this pre-power move. And by the way, this move that you see back here, that's a 2024 move to the upside. You start zooming out on the Ethereum charts, you get a sense of risk score reaching into that 100 range. We're still sitting right now at a 52. Look at last cycle at this moment at a 52. This was pre-bull move. This was pre-all-time high for Ethereum. Keep that in mind. But I want to show you something, and then we're going to dive into the SUI charts and the Cardano charts. Check this clip out. This is June 22nd, just over a month ago. Look at this risk score for Ethereum sitting at a 29. This is the exact purpose of our risk models. Look at it. But right now, we're in an area where I think there's a lot of people out there that might want to consider using risk models for accumulation. I mean, just look at the accumulation areas in the 20s for Ethereum, right? And even into the teens. I think of back here, 2022, you can just see there's the 20s in 2023. Here's the end of 2022, 21 in the teens. We're at 29 on Ethereum. And so we were at 29, and that was around $2,100 when I did that video. If we go look at, let's look at the daily chart for Ethereum. This yellow arrow, there is the 22nd. That is where Ethereum was when I did the video. It was a low risk score. That just is what it is, everybody. And we see what happens next on this chart. Ethereum, it was a great accumulation area as our risk model was showing. Now, right now we're at a kind of a neutral area, a hold area. The purpose of our risk models is essentially to not only get these areas of accumulation in play, lower risk, but prepare for these moments. And this is what our members are doing in our intelligence system, in the exit planners. They're using the risk models to set alerts for, hey, we start entering the 60s, the 70s, 80s, 90s. We're hitting 100. Please alert me. Please let me know. It's the inverse of accumulation. That's what's happening here on this chart. So I just wanted to point that out because this is a very good example of how fast things change. We're at a 52. I was doing that video just over a month ago. It was at a 29. The same is true for going into a parabolic move for Ethereum. Ethereum social media euphoria hits extreme levels. What does this mean for altcoins? Is the top in? Is this it? Is it just too crazy right now? I want to explain why it's not the case. I'm going to show you on the Ethereum charts, and then we'll break down that SUI chart and Cardano chart. Ethereum's 50% rally in the past month has drawn unprecedented social media attention, raising concerns that ETH may be overheated. We just saw the risk score. It's at a hold. That doesn't come without potential 20% dips. We have to prepare for dips in a bull market, but this goes on. And this is sentiment data, by the way, but this article goes on to kind of explain and break down, what this means. So they're saying when social dominance of crypto spikes to unusually high levels, it suggests the asset is overhyped and the trade is becoming crowded. Maybe for short-term traders, there's some crowdedness. But I want to show you the monthly chart. I want to show you the macro perspective. And this really overlays with our risk models and what we see here on the macro. We see what's going on. We're in hold territory on the macro. And especially when we start evaluating fundamentals and the business cycle of where we are. But then we look at the charts, the monthly chart. It's just a reminder, everybody, of where this monthly chart is. Look at this RSI. It just broke above this moving average line. It's sitting at around a 60 or so, 59.60. This slower moving momentum oscillator. Look at the MACD. So again, maybe some short-term crowdedness, right? Traders, they want to trade. We could get 20% dips right now. We could get dips right now in Ethereum, but it's the macro. This is a monthly MACD setting up to cross above this signal line right here, this histogram setting up to go green. So on the macro, we have seen nothing yet. We've not seen Ethereum break all-time highs, go into price discovery, altcoins follow, go into price discovery. We've not seen any of that. So this is a macro game. This is a multi-year game. We will continue tracking Ethereum and altcoins from a multi-week, multi-month perspective, but you have to really differentiate. Yeah, things might get kind of crazy on the shorter term. We've been up 50% on Ethereum. It's looking good. Maybe there's room for pullbacks. But on the macro, you can see how this is just getting started. And so our risk models gave us a sense of kind of a bottoming out area, but right now they're giving us a sense of, hey, we've not seen really that power move that we see in bull markets. And you can study the data on our risk model charts, and you can see this heat map. We're just hanging out still. So let's go over to SUI. Here's SUI on the weekly. Good to see SUI breaking this trend line, right? So there was a bit of almost resistance here in this last weekly candle. Right now we have a nice weekly candle getting ready to close potentially in 1 day, 8 hours. I'm always a little cautious of weekend pumps. I don't know how this is going to play out. On the daily chart, we're going to get a sense of what to watch for potential resistance. But if this move continues into this new week, which is potentially going to be volatile, I mean, we have interest rates decision coming out at the end of next week. So we have to be very careful right now, but this move, very good, right? Breaking this trend line, the moving averages, as we've kind of noted in a previous video, just completely reset together, the 20 and the 50. This is what happened at the beginning of this last power move for SUI. But let's look at this, right? If we're looking at this chart, I want to show you something, and this is in relation to SUI move happening now and how this could be a leading indicator for altcoins. Cardano is going to come into play and into the story to really help paint this picture. I have a little note here, and it says SUI and the 50 above the 200. What I mean by that is this. This 50 moving average in blue getting ready to cross above the 200 moving average. Right there. Right within even this little breakout that's happening right now. Something to pay attention to. And the reason I'm thinking about this is because we had this really nice, powerful move back here, right? Notice this 50-day moving average crossing above that 200-day moving average. That was September 30th. If we go look at the ADA chart, for instance, and we go look at September 30th, was ADA also doing that nice power move, right, in terms of the 50 above the 200? No, it wasn't. This is where ADA was. So ADA, the 50 above the 200, didn't happen until all the way back here, and this was like mid-November. I'm not saying ADA and other altcoins will lag behind SUI that much this time. We might see, this move happen for Cardano sooner than later, right? But look where the 50 is on Cardano right now. We're not about to cross above the 200 just yet. So this is why I'm saying, and I've been watching SUI as a leading indicator. If SUI makes a power move and your altcoin, whether it's ADA or some other altcoin, is not making the move yet, just please remember this has happened before, most recently back here in September. But I will say, even if you don't hold SUI and you're waiting for just crypto to break out, altcoins to break out, if SUI starts breaking out before other altcoins, just cheer for it. At least that's what I'll be doing. SUI is very close to breaking all-time high from the swing high back in January. So we're looking at a move for SUI, like a 27% move. Now, the target for SUI right now that I have, and it's a very odd target that many would disagree with, but I see this little move right here, and then that pullback to the upside, and then a stronger move down. Right now, move to the upside, a little bit of consolidation. To me, it just looks like an inverse head and shoulders, and it's just the story that I'm always talking about. The bear stepping in stronger, the bear stepping in, and the bulls finally are just winning to the breakout. I know this isn't exact to the neckline, but patterns are never exact. I mean, we have to really look at the story behind the charts. And so that's what I see there. So short-term resistance for SUI is literally where it is right now. I'm very curious to see if we can break this entire area back here. It's like 420 to 430 right here. If SUI starts breaking out, this could be a very good thing for altcoins. I want to just add caution right now because we're stepping into, I think, what might be a volatile week. This weekend pump that we have could be a fake out, and we're actually coming down, maybe meeting these moving averages. SUI could be finding itself falling back into the threes very quickly. Be careful for that. But I will be watching SUI in terms of altcoins. And here is Cardano on the weekly, and I want to check it out on the daily in just a moment. But I think it's important to do an update on the weekly because Cardano is right in the middle of the bull market doors, and that is the bottom range around the 200 week moving average at 63 cents. We've gotten back into the range, but remember, this upper end of the bull market doors for Cardano is around $1.20 to $1.25. We're continuing to track that move. We're waiting for that move. But what is very important to note on this chart is what is happening right now with these moving averages. Look at this. I have to zoom very far in to even see the 50 and the 20 are like at this exact confluent area of 68 cents. So we have a macro pivot that is happening right now. And I'm saying this consolidation of this 20 into the 50 took months, really, as you can see on this chart. What we want to see is the 20 to maybe it falls a little bit below the 50, but we want to see the bounce of the 20 popping back up and the 50 below it, and we want to see this type of trajectory. We have in store the beginning of a potential Cardano bull market starting right now. Moving averages express that very nicely on this chart. If we go back to last cycle, guess what was happening? That 20, 50, close together, that separation of the two is the beginning of the power move for Cardano. If we go to the daily chart, here's what we can watch for in the short term. We've already kind of talked about it a little bit in terms of just that 50 eventually catching up to the 200. We're waiting for that move, the SUI move that is happening right now. But on this chart, we do have continued downside in play. If this is going to be a fake weekend pump, cryptos come down, Cardano potentially testing the 60s down here. The 50-day moving average is down here at this trend line. So let's watch that area. This 20-day is at 76. So I would say 76 cents to around 67 cents could be an area of interest. But if Cardano starts breaking out, breaking this swing high, I mean, we are very close to a dollar target. This is a very important target, not just because it's a dollar, but if you look at swing high to swing low, we have this Fibonacci, lower high Fibonacci range. It's $1 to around $1.15. What does ADA do at that area? That is the next target area for me that I'm watching. If we get a bull move for crypto, if ADA breaks through that area with some strength, we might see ADA simultaneously, quite quickly, break through the bull market doors. So that's what I'm watching on ADA on the short term. Altcoins, in my view, on the macro, looking good. Obviously, from this analysis, we see that dips are very much in play, especially as we start this new week tomorrow. So please be careful for that. But just look at the data. Look at our risk models. And if you're not in our risk models, we have 38 coins in total back there right now, or 38 risk models. We have global crypto market cap and altcoin market cap back there as well. But start planning, start tracking all this data. All the models are different. You see some in the 30s, some in the 50s, some in the 40s, 60s. Plan your exits, plan cycles. If you're a macro investor, I would love to have you as a member and would love for you to give us a shot. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate you watching. Let's see how this weekend goes and how we step into this new week. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Hit that like if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.